Nanalo ng Family Feud ng Team Phoenix ng 200,000 pesos.
Family Feud, 5:40 p.m.
Welcome to my episode that is called
Nagmamano pa.
That's okay.
This is DW News, and these are our top stories. Afghanistan's Taliban government is appealing for international aid after a major earthquake on Sunday that killed more than 800 people and injured 3,000. Rescuers are struggling to reach the remote mountainous region near the city of Jalalabad. Poor weather conditions have been hampering rescue efforts. Chinese-aligned countries meeting at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit have signed a declaration opposing unfair trade barriers and supporting the United Nations Charter. China's President Xi Jinping criticized bullying behavior in a veiled reference to the United States. Leaders from countries including India and Russia have been meeting in Tianjin. A landslide in Sudan's Darfur region has wiped out an entire village. An estimated 1,000 people have been killed, according to the rebel group controlling the Mara Mountains. This is one of Sudan's deadliest natural disasters. The militia is calling for international support to recover the bodies. This is DW News from Berlin, and you can find lots more on our website. That's dw.com.
Celebrates his success as he prepares for an historic military parade. Brazil's president prepares for the final phase of his coup plotting trial, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson breaks out of his Hollywood mold at the Venice Film Festival. It's Tuesday, September 2nd. This is Reuters World News, bringing you everything you need to know from the front lines in 10 minutes, 7 days a week. I'm Kim Vanell in Wanganui, New Zealand. In Afghanistan, the Taliban is pleading for help after a devastating earthquake. Some of the injured are being airlifted out of remote regions, but the death toll is 800 and rising. In Kunar, resident Hekmatullah clears the rubble of his home. In the debris lies the bodies of 8 of his family members, all killed in the magnitude 6.1 quake. Charlotte Greenfield has more.
The areas that are worst affected by the earthquake are really remote rural areas. They're mostly small mountainside villages. There was also a huge amount of rain in the 24 hours before the earthquake, which has made the roads much more impassable. And even in a normal situation, some of these villages are only accessible by 5 to 6 hours walk on foot. So that gives some insight into the scale of the problem.
Charlotte says US aid cuts have seen health clinics close in the areas worst affected, and the Taliban government is struggling.
So the Taliban obviously have been in charge of the country since foreign forces withdrew in 2021. This is their third major earthquake that they are dealing with, and each one is posed.
Gold steady at 2%, keeping the European Central Bank on track to hold rates this month. Gold prices climbed to an all-time high on the back of a weaker dollar and rising bets of a US interest rate cut this month. Supporters of Brazil's former president Jair Bolsonaro rally outside his home as the country's Supreme Court goes into final deliberations on his trial. Bolsonaro is accused of plotting a coup after his electoral defeat, an accusation he's denied. At the center of the trial is Supreme Court Justice Alexandre de Moraes, a polarizing figure who's taken on Bolsonaro, Elon Musk, and even defied US sanctions. Manuela Adriani is in Sao Paulo.
Brazil is testing a strategy to block the far right by prosecuting this case. Does the far right succumb if their leader is in jail? We don't know that. What we hear from Bolsonaro's allies is that they want to elect enough senators that will allow them to impeach Moraes and other Supreme Court justices. So it could be that this attempt to use the courts to rein in the far right actually backfires. Moraes is not exactly a popular figure in Brazil. Like, polls show that 46% of Brazilians are in favor of him being impeached. So it's not like he is this cherished figure. He is also divisive.
President Donald Trump says he'll award the Presidential Medal of Freedom to Rudy Giuliani, just days after the former New York mayor was hospitalized following a car crash in New Hampshire. The medal is the highest U.S. civilian honor, typically given for exceptional contributions to national values, public service, or who was pregnant at the time, denies touching the security guard and says she was being filmed without consent. The 82nd Venice International Film Festival is in full swing, drawing major stars to the red carpet, despite some industry struggles. Actors have been showing up in force, backing bold new projects like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who's breaking his mold in a gritty fight drama, The Smashing Machine, where he plays a soft-spoken man with private struggles.
When you're in Hollywood, as we all know, and it had become about box office, I just had this burning desire and this just voice that was saying, well, again, what if? But what if there is more? What if?
Entertainment editor Mike Davidson is in Venice.
What we hear and read in the news as to the state of play with the film industry and the economics of it, it probably is not faring so great, but the people who are earning a living in the industry, particularly the actors and the stars, well, they are out in force and they are really giving it as much support as they possibly can. It's super to see. And maybe we might see going into this Christmas run and then the award season run somewhat of a turnaround.
And for today's recommended read, not to make you feel old, but Finnish DJ Darude's international dance hit Sandstorm has turned 25. To mark the occasion, hundreds of fans dressed in red raced around Helsinki, echoing the music video. We'll drop a link to that story in the pod description. For more on any of the stories from today, check out Reuters.com or the Reuters app. Don't forget to follow us on your favourite podcast player. Smart speaker, just ask for the latest news from Reuters 7 days a week. We'll be back tomorrow with our daily headline show.
That's it for your news updates. To see more stories, open Google News.
Many are catching a flight or hitting the road, and it's a good time to do so as the cost of travel.
actually noticing prices declining.
We're getting a bargain here.
Leroy Graves just got back from Florida, and he says cheaper gas prices were a nice welcome home.
I'm one of the drivers. You know, I paid attention. I said, well, wow, gas is cheaper in KC.
But gas isn't just cheaper in KC. Gas Buddy reports that on average, gas is around $3.15 nationwide. Here in KC, it's about $2.87. In general, gas prices are the lowest they've been since 2020. For Lauren Kano, the price drop isn't as obvious.
So I haven't really seen